You know what I noticed? I noticed that race is involved heavily when it comes to Vasyl Lomachenko. You'd be surprised like how many that I've been doing some research, and I don't even have to talk about it because you already know. Go look. You already know. Um, he's fighting this weekend. Hold on. You know what I noticed? Is the fight still on ESPN? It's still on ESPN, right? He's fighting this weekend against Miguel Marriaga. Remember, Miguel Marriaga fought the most notable name. Remember, it was a couple years ago when he fought Nicholas Walters. His last fight was a loss in a very good fight against Oscar Valdez. Now, this fight coming on ESPN was supposed to be Orlando Salido. You don't want to believe it, and a lot of people are saying dumb shit like Top Rank is lying, but you can't lie about shit like that. What they're saying they're lying about is that Orlando Salido was offered a career high, from my understanding, was a career high payday of $720,000, and he turned it down. So if Top Rank or anybody from the Top Rank team was to put that out there and it not be true to the media, then guess what? Orlando Salido and their team can sue. So the rumor was still nothing confirmed. I didn't get a chance to get my question, and I wish I would have just been more aggressive. Is to ask Tank Davis and to ask their team because I was just there with them this weekend and I didn't get the question. You know, it's like what happened with the Orlando Salido fight? Did he price himself out? Did he turn down the ESPN exposure the second fight after Mayweather Pacquiao versus Horn was lit, the second ESPN fight? You know, did he turn that down to think that he was going to get more money on the Mayweather-McGregor undercard? He would have got more exposure, yes. But did he try to get it on that money grab? You know? Did he try to get more money? So we don't know what happened with that situation, but now Tank Davis is going to be fighting Roman Rocky Martinez, and now Orlando Salido is out of 2 fights. So people have been giving Vasyl Lomachenko all this shit because they're like, man, why is he fighting Marriaga when Rigondeaux was available? But when this fight was announced, when this fight was announced against Marriaga, Rigondeaux had already been in a fight, what was that, 2 weeks or less than 2 weeks prior, or a little over 2 weeks prior. So this is where the casual boxing fan comes in and says dumb shit, excuse my language, when they say shit like, but Rigondeaux was still fresh. He was only in there just like 1 round. And it's like, what? That's just not how the business works. And they say, man, how come they fought him? They could have fought Rigo. Rigondeaux wanted to fight. You don't put a big fight like Rigondeaux and Lomachenko or however you Lomachenko Rigondeaux together in no 3 weeks. You don't put a fight like that together. And then people saying, man, he didn't have to fight on August the 5th on ESPN. What? So the second inaugural Top Rank on ESPN, a big deal, by the way. If you notice how successful Pacquiao versus Horn, by the way, this would have been the second fight. You're telling him that he should have been like, no, I'm not fighting on that date unless it's Rigondeaux. What? So I've been hearing so much like bullshit logic when it comes to this situation. And it's like this, right? If you don't know, Lomachenko and Rigondeaux have spoken on the phone. They have talked. Right now it's August the 1st. Right now it's August the 1st. I agree, do construction. It's August the 1st, 2017. And listen, you got to learn the business, and you can't be listening to people all the time without going to research shit yourself. I say this all the time. Everything I say in my videos, you can go research yourself. Everything I say in my videos, you can go research yourself. And just don't be saying shit just to be saying shit. The Rigondeaux fight couldn't have happened. It hasn't even been 2 months since Ward Kovalev with Rigondeaux Flores. And also, Rigondeaux has been ordered to fight Flores again. Because Flores, for my opinion, sold the move. So, do I want to see Lomachenko versus Marriaga? Hell no. But what I know about Marriaga being the late replacement, also having a good fight against Oscar Valdez, and also knowing that Gervonta Davis won't fight him or wouldn't have fought him at this date, no. I'm sorry. Will the Rigondeaux fight happen? I believe so. I believe so. You know, they've spoken on the phone, and ever since then, they haven't been talking shit about each other no more. You know, it's all about, you know, the timing. I believe it's really going to happen. Bob Arum gets a bad rap a lot of times. You know, and don't get me wrong, he can be a little mean old man sometimes, you know, because he's old. You know, it's like this, right? Old people be on some old people stuff. And I'm not saying disrespectful. You got, like, old relatives You know how they just be mean sometimes for no reason? Especially if you don't put like the trash out when they tell you to or something like that. I remember those days, man. And I be thinking like, yo, why are you so mean? Or if it's like if you open, like if they got like, right, it'll be like the fucking frosted mini wheats. They'll have like one sweet cereal. Then they'll have like some fucking like Raisin Bran or something. But if the other 2 boxes is open, they get pissed when you open up the sweet cereal. They be like, why you gotta open that? You don't put no food. You come around here when you want it. You just come to eat. Don't you have any food in your house? You know, old people can be messed up sometimes, man. So sometimes you can tell. Like the first time I met Bob Arum was the first time I ever met him was at the Crawford versus Diaz press conference. And I just was listening to the way he was talking to people. And I was like, my God, I'm scared to death to interview this man. He'd be cursing and saying like, no, what the fuck does that mean? He'd be like, why do they say this? Where the fuck did they get? And I'm like, oh, God. I was scared to death. I was like, yo, what if I say some shit, you know, that shit don't be right, you know? But anyway, seeing Lomachenko on ESPN is good for the fans. It's all about, will they live up to the momentum that Pacquiao Horn left? Pacquiao Horn was world global news. So this is the second ESPN fight, and from a marketing standpoint and from a business standpoint, they want this shit to be lit. So can you imagine if they had Pacquiao Horn and then the next ESPN fight? And I'm not talking about the Golden Boy deal. That's a whole different thing. I'm talking about ESPN's deal. No disrespect to Golden Boy. I mean, Top Rank's deal with ESPN is bigger than Golden Boy's deal with ESPN. Golden Boy is using ESPN to build up their younger fighters, you know, and showcase like a lot of their seasoned fighters like Jose Soto Carras and Mauricio Herrera, while Top Rank's ESPN deal is to bring their stars and to bring mainstream boxing to ESPN. There's a lot of money behind it, you know. So, you know, can you imagine if they would have did Pacquiao Horn, then the next one, Salido Lomachenko 2? You know, Salido fucked it up, man. Salido fucked it up. So now it's about, like, where does Lomachenko go when he wins? I feel he's going to win, no disrespect. You know, but looking at the division, man, you know, Gervonta Davis, it's like this, right? I feel fighters will fight everybody. You think I'd be like, you think that Gervonta Davis be with his homies and shit down at B-More or be wherever he at, you know, and be like, no, man, that fucking, you know, Lomachenko be good. You know, you're like, yo, I get in there, like, you know, but my team ain't going to let me in there right now. You know, when you ask Showtime, and the whole media interview is here on the channel with Leonard Ellerby, the promoter of Gervonta Davis, and Steven Espinoza, who's the network of Gervonta Davis, but of course, Al Heyman is pulling the strings. So if you listen to him, I mean, if you listen to them, when the name Lomachenko comes up, they just like, you know, timing and shit. Yeah, meaning timing that y'all don't think Gervonta's ready yet. I don't think so either. You know, but if he would have got that Orlando Salido fight, people would have been like, oh, okay. You know, but now that he's getting a Rocky Martinez, people are like, well, that is a big name a little bit. But people really don't want to see that shit, especially since it's the magnitude of the Mayweather-McGregor undercard. You know, but looking at the 130-pound division, you know, can we get, you know, Lomachenko, you know, versus Miguel Burcho? You know, that'd be a unification at least, you know, or Jezreel Corrales. But those are Golden Boy fighters. And I'm not sure about Miguel Burcho. I believe he's Zanfer. I don't know if Golden Boy has signed him up as a co-promoter, but we haven't seen Top Rank and we haven't seen Top Rank and Golden Boy working together. And now that Top Rank is off of HBO, and is Burcho invested in HBO to whereas Lomachenko have to go over to HBO to fight him, and Bob Arum is not going to allow that. You know, so Lomachenko may just have to go up to 135, see what's popping up there. You know, Mikey Garcia's been talking it, but can it really happen? You know, there's beef there between Mikey Garcia, Top Rank, and whoever. We got to find out who is pulling the strings for Mikey Garcia. Is it Al Heyman or Richard Schaefer? I think it's Al Heyman. I thought it was Richard Schaefer first, but the fact that Richard Schaefer wasn't at this fight, you know, I don't think it's him. You know, or is Mikey Garcia really a legitimate free agent? And that's kind of what's up if he's able to do that. To be like a free agent and shit, like, nah, I'll just fight, get my money, you know, let y'all take y'all bread, but I'm not signing. You know, that's what's up if he's doing that. But if this is the case, you know, fans would love to see him versus Lomachenko, especially if he's talking the talk of being able to stay at 135. You know, so it's a real difficult situation for Vasyl Lomachenko. And if you look at the rankings, you know, there's not really much there. So you have to hope that maybe we can get Lomachenko versus Orlando Salido. But could we get Lomachenko versus Tevin Farmer? We got Lomachenko. I mean, we got Terrence Crawford versus Felix Diaz. Felix Diaz was promoted by Lou DiBella. Tevin Farmer is promoted by Lou DiBella. So it's possible it can happen. But all I'm saying is Lomachenko is in a tough spot because fighters don't want to fight him. But now it's becoming a bigger political divide between the promoters to be able to put these fights together because of like network deals and whatnot. But anyway, I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. Controversy gonna make you fight live. Please subscribe. And Gary Russell. Does Gary Russell want that work? Like he say he do? I don't know. Please subscribe.